Hey y'all, Lost Effortless, aka Effortless Unite. This video is a little story time about my protests that I was doing uh, back in 2024. Now, if you watch Antennas, which is live stream, you will probably hear me on there talking about it, but I didn't really elaborate more on why I did it or what caused me to believe in this whole cause in the first place. So let's get right into it. Back in 2024, I used to live with my mother at 20 years old, and I had a connection with my boss because it was her boss, and I basically was signed up to work for him. Now, we did do telemarketing, and that's what my main thing was. I would do telemarketing, try to sell the company to other people. So that may sound easy, but it was not for me because of my mental illness. I had schizophrenia, so I'd be hearing voices while doing said job, or I have anxiety talking to the people. It was just not good, or I have intrusive thoughts while talking to these people online. So I got fed up because the way I see it, I was like, this lifestyle's not for me. I moved out of my mom's place for the first time, and this is what happens. Like, this is how it goes down. So I just got tired. I was like, screw this. I'm gonna try to just not be here because I've been having schizophrenia since 15 years old, and I got sick and tired of it. I was like, this is not for me. I can't do it. So basically, I looked up a mental clinic, but I thought it was a maid clinic because I was very ignorant at the time. I didn't understand that it was not legal. I wasted a whole bus ride to get there, and I wasted my whole bus ride to get there. And I went there. I know the cars in the background. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, I got there and I didn't hear. I was told it was illegal to get people made in Chicago. So I got fed up and took one of my bosses, Home Depot cardboard boxes and wrote legalized made on there, and and I took it to the streets. I took a bus ride to the train station, and I basically walked. I walked. I hit the sign what the message was, but I walked up to the train station and went off the balcony and went down the stairs to where the trains were. Now, before I stood on the tracks, there's a train coming in a minute, so I waited for that to pass before I went on the tracks. The next train on that particular track, it will tell you it will be 15 minutes. So I was like, that's enough time to do what I'm doing. And the train will stop completely because I'm on the way. So I went on the tracks holding a sign. Legalized made. I walked around, people were a little confused at first what I was doing. But I was protesting, and people were understood that later on. This one guy got mad at me and said, "You bogus as HE double hockey stick," and I told him, "I don't give a flip." I didn't say it exactly, but YouTube TOS. So I just told him I don't care. He threatened to attack me. I just ignored him. 5 minutes later, I kept walking around with the sign. 2 CTA workers show up and ask me, why am I doing this? I tell them, this is for the disenfranchised youth. This is for the people who are suffering. And that's what I said. And they would say, why would you want that? And that's what's funny about people who virtue signal online about depression and people who are want to unalive themselves, because they don't understand that people, like, why would they ask that question? Oh, why would a person want to unalive themselves peacefully and with dignity? That's just a very odd question to me to ask, because it's like, why would they ask that question? It has a very obvious answer. So that's what I just told them, the same thing, and they threatened to call the cops. And I told them I want to get off the tracks till the cops are here, and they basically called the cops, and the cops came. Now, mind you, I kept my word. I got off the tracks when the cops showed up. The cops took me out the train station and asked me a few questions. Now, mind you, I specified to these police officers, this is not an unaliving attempt. This is not an attempt to unalive myself. I was just protesting for that right. This is not an attempt to do that right away. So I specified that to them. They put me in the back of the cop car, took my sign, didn't give it back, and they took me to the hospital. And at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I thought I was going home. But they took me to the hospital, and I was admitted into the psych ward a day later. This was kind of confusing to me because I was like, I just told them this was not an unaliving attempt, and they just put me in psych ward anyway for protesting. I thought that was very stupid. But I was admitted. I got a lecture from this old woman that was telling me, you don't give your life, you don't make your life, you can't take it, and all this other stuff. She told me like a little story about how her son got ended. And I was just like, I wasn't really thinking about that, you know. I was still thinking about my rights, like to leave this awful world. So yeah, so we were put in a psych ward, and if you know anything about psych wards in Illinois, if you ever been there, it's very boring because you can't have a phone, you can't open a window, you can't go outside, you can't go outside when you want to, at least. You know, if it depends on what ward you go to. In some wards, you can't even. There's not even like a park or a playground for you. It's just you stay in there, and don't come out. So until it's time to leave. So that's basically how it is, and depending on which one you go to. I'm not gonna say where I'm at yet because I'm not ready to dox myself just yet, or even tell it on my this is where I'm at. You know, I'm not ready to do that. I don't have a big following, so I was protesting for that, and 2 weeks later I got taken out the psych ward. I was discharged, and I met my grandpa, and he took me back home, and that's basically how it went down. So that's the story of how I was protesting for MAID rights or DWD rights for people like us. But yeah, just like and subscribe if you like my stories. They're really off the cuff. There's no like editing, so I have to like restart each video and keep going over until I get it right. But yeah, if you like this type of content, like and subscribe. Unite out.